Steven Seagal could destroy Jean-Claude Van Damme in a fight.
What the hell did you just say?
Whether it be back in the glory days of peak athletic fitness, or now in their twilight years, Sensei Cuddly Bum has the edge over Mr. Van Varenberg.
Who the f*** is that?
That's right, JCVV had to change his name to JCVD because he was hiding out from an ass-whooping from Seagal. I know what most of you are thinking. How could that tubby, narcissistic, lazy blob possibly beat the muscles from Brussels in any physical pursuit? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to lay out a body of evidence that will leave you speechless and 100% certain that I'm undeniably correct.
Look, I'll be the judge of that, alright?
Now, there is a story floating around about JCVD coming after Sensei Pom Pom at a party and then at a nightclub afterwards.
I'm very familiar. Very familiar.
But it's obvious that the details have been heavily skewed. It was the other way around. I happen to have that on good authority from a highly reliable source, a one master Steven Seagal.
Jean-Claude Van Damme fall off a motorbike here going about 6 miles an hour. Is that true he got in a fight with you?
No. It'd be like me squashing an ant. Come on.
You, Larry?
I thought he said he did like a spinning double twist kick
double
or some
kick.
shit.
It's
It's like one in front of his...
If he sees me, he runs.
Said that he whooped some Aikido ass or something. I don't know.
Come on. If he sees me, he runs.
Sounds true.
What people don't know is that at one stage, Jean-Claude and Sensei Shitnuts used to be BFFs. You heard right. Legend has it, Seagal was upset because Van Damme was stealing all the young trim for himself. And this upset Steven.
For example, because of my big legs and karate, I can do the splits no problem.
This is where things got personal, with Seagal opening up about his feelings.
I'm deeply hurt. Your words deeply hurt me.
Van Damme doesn't play that emotional and stabs a knife right through the heart of Sensei Snotface.
I hear all kinds of bullshit every day, pal. You want some advice? Take your fancy clothes and your black silk underwear and go back to Disneyland.
After that, their relationship was never the same. The beef intensified, with each one taking aim at the other, tit for tat.
I think Steven Seagal has such a good presence. And he should lose some weight. And I think he's got lots of charisma. Even though sometimes he speaks bad about me, it's all bullshit. I think he's a nice guy.
I would love to see a Steven Seagal in part 3. He should lose some weight, can be a little more fast.
He's put on the pounds.
I met the guy a few times. He's a nice guy. Doesn't like me much.
Van Damme. Do you know Van Damme?
No.
You've heard of him? Mm-hmm. Let's start with him, Steven. What do you think of his work? As a martial artist first.
Change the subject.
He stars, right? I mean, he was like a champion somewhere, and right? I mean, you...
I think that that's a matter of opinion, that he was a champion anywhere.
We never got to see them fight, but we can analyze their respective physical abilities to determine who would kick the shit out of the other. I will definitively prove, using various key categories and quantifiable metrics, that Sensei Sleazy Slug would wipe the floor with Jean-Claude Van do the splits.
I can do the splits no problem.
Before we begin this in-depth, critical, objective and absolutely necessary analysis, I would like to take a moment to shine a light on today's sponsor, Blur. If you're a company who thinks that advertising on a bald moron's channel will somehow improve the credibility of your product, then you should definitely contact me. I don't know how you were put in charge, but we should definitely connect. Immediately. Guaranteed to increase your revenue by -5% monthly.
Yes!
I would also like to say thank you to all of you legends for your continued support. We blew past 15k subscribers and I couldn't have done it without all of you. Like literally, it would actually be impossible to do it without you guys subscribing, so thank you very much. But truly, my friends, I do enjoy making these videos for you all, and as long as you guys enjoy watching it, let's keep this little symbiotic relationship of mutual pleasure rolling on.
Is this love, is this love, is this love, is this love that I'm feeling?
Now, on to the death battle. Okay, so both of these slim and shredded gods were known for their supreme flexibility and kicks, but in completely different ways. The charming Jean-Claude was known for his wide range of flashy kicks, but according to his brother Eric,
Damn it, kid. How many times do I have to tell you? You don't win fights with that tip-tap shit.
Well, Eric, I think Tong Po would disagree with you on that one, mate. Sensei Lightning Legs was more of a gut-height front kick kind of bloke. Nothing above 90 degrees. No need to overexert yourself. Efficiency over flash. Both men were known for their jumping, or in Seagal's case, flying kicking abilities. Back in the 80s and 90s, JCVD was the spin kick god, before Scott Adkins and Tony Jaa started doing all this flippy shit. Big Jean had a silky, sexy, smooth jumping spin kick that was so awesome, it had to be shown 17 times on repeat. And I think we can agree, it was damn well worth it.
I'm okay.
While this may have looked awesome, Sensei Crotch Sniffer developed a technique that, to this day, is still used by modern day fighters.
Years ago, and I've been perfecting it all these years. It's fake low and come high and do that kick that I've been teaching you and kick him in the head or the face.
An ancient technique taught solely to the Great One. The run and launch front kick Sensei Pig Snout perfected was so rarely seen that many did not believe it even existed.
I remember being on set and on deadly ground trying to get Steven Seagal to throw a front kick. And Steven Seagal could not teach Anderson a front kick that he can't do himself. Come on.
I managed to obtain rare archival footage of the Big Buffalo passing on this wisdom to Lyoto Machida, an ex-UFC fighter.
Punch! Punch!
This is going to be a short little analysis because it's obvious who the winner is. Van Damme is probably more well known for his fanciful feet than his fists of fury. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, some of Van Damme's punches show really, really horrible technique. Sensei Babala doesn't really throw punches. He throws people, pushes people, clotheslines people, slaps people. He waves his arms at people. He snorts at people. But he doesn't really punch them, unless he's ripping off another movie. And with all that in mind, the fact that he doesn't even have to punch in movies and still convince people he can fight means, you guessed it, he shits all over the handsome and chiseled Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I'm okay.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was a specimen of a man back in his day, and he knew it. Whenever possible, and I mean whenever feasibly possible, that shirt was coming off and those magnificent beefy glutes were going to be on display front and center. I mean, who can blame him? The man was a sexy, beautiful creature. As a straight man confident in my sexuality, I can say this.
Sorry, I'm definitely straight, like I only like girls.
The coke fiend Claude also holds a record for the most badass splits in a movie, all while wearing as little clothing as permitted in a movie. But when it comes to the ultimate physical specimen and Hitler's wet dream, it has to be Sensei Flatulence. Gaze upon his shredded and toned body. If I was a 12-year-old boy, this would be my dream physique.
I'm a fighter. I've fought all my life.
I'm not even going to bother comparing their bodies now because Jean-Claude looks better than I do, and Sensei Seagal looks like a giant land whale.
You run like a girl.
Now, I must admit, I hate running. I do not believe in running unless I'm being chased. I'm more of a resistance training kind of lad. But when I watch Jean-Claude and see how funny he makes it look, I'm almost tempted to give it another crack.
I probably won't.
We all know this category is a foregone conclusion, because nobody runs like the Big Daddy of the Dash, the fleet-footed funster of fat. Sensei Bitch Tits glides with the grace of Lizzo doing ballet. Combining the spirit hand circles technique, coupled with the shit my pants face, Sensei can reach speeds of up to Mach 5.
As fast as a bullet from a gun.
Oh yeah, dancing. I'm good. Why?
When I was a kid, Kickboxer and Bloodsport were some of my favourite movies. and I still love them. Up until I saw it in Space Ice videos, I thought I was the only person who truly appreciated that awesome dance scene with JCVD. It is one of my most favourite scenes in any movie, period. Look at this man cut up the damn rug.
That was the greatest thing my eyeballs have ever seen.
Fun fact, this wasn't even in the script. Jean-Claude just wanted to boogie, and the world is a better place because he did. Now we have Sensei Shakalaka and his enchanting mating dance. Many of you will be familiar with it already, but for those who aren't, watch here as he tries to court this innocent woman with his sensual swatting and flailing. There is a rumour circulating that she stole the cookie from the cookie jar, hence why Sensei Saggy Balls is overly aggressive with his tubby arm waving.
I want you dead.
Now, if it isn't abundantly clear, I am a huge fan of the most famous French-sounding dude that isn't even French. But unfortunately, he's completely outgunned by the most well-trained martial artist that isn't even a martial artist.
Aye.
All joking aside, who do I think would win if they were to get into a fight? I think Michael Jai White would annihilate both of them. I feel like Seagal would be the guy talking tough, but would always have an excuse not to fight.
I gotta get home for dinner. Yeah, me too.
Jean-Claude seems like the charming type of bloke who'd go from enemy to drinking partner in the space of 30 seconds.
Kind of pretty. I don't know if I want to fight you.
It would have been a dream to see these two go at it in the ring, or in a street fight ideally. I feel like Sensei Dirty Tactics would eye poke, crotch strike, scratch and do all sorts of dirty shit, so I think Seagal would ultimately win.
What are you, f***ing nuts?
He's also 6 inches taller and 20 kilograms heavier. Well, not now obviously, he's more than 200 kilograms heavier than Van Damme, but back then. So, what do you think? Who's winning a fight between JCVD and Sensei Skidmark? Let me know in the comments, my friends, and spare no details. Do you agree or you think JCVD would wipe the floor with him? It's hard to tell. I don't really rate any of them necessarily as supreme martial artists and fighters. We're living in a world of MMA now, so it's very hard to look at these guys as legit badasses, but for their time, I love JCVD, what can I tell you? Alright Seagalians, until next time, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please think about liking and subscribing if you haven't already. New Bullshito video coming up soon, and many other things that will hopefully provide you with some entertainment and levity, if only for a moment. As always, have a ripper day, be kind to someone you don't know, but above all, stay awesome. Peace, legends.